You know what, Elliot, Mr. Freeman, he said the two things we agreed on. Hall is very passionate, and I think that he got frustrated. And he says, you know what, I'd love to have both those things and just kind of iron them out and use those energies in the positive direction. And what a fun kid to watch all the time.
And here's another one. Well done, men. Let's send it out to Scott Kevin Weeks and Jordan Eberle at Rexall. Scott.
All right, Ron, thanks very much. It's been a tough season for the Oilers, and we're pleased to welcome perhaps the brightest spot in it, Jordan Eberle, who returned this week from a mercifully brief interruption to a good year. We'll talk later about your fairly quick recovery from that knee injury. But first to the events of this evening, as tough as they were. Have you any explanation for why the air seems to go out of this team when it's scored on, especially when it gives up the first goal?
You know what, I don't. I think that's why it's so tough, is you can't find a way to put a finger on it. You know, we've played well in spurts, but it seems like you said, we get scored on and just the air deflates. But you know, we're still trying to find traction, and we're still trying to find a way to win. And you know, obviously early on the season was coming. I think a lot had to do with how well our defense was playing and how well Happy was playing, and we're obviously getting offense from everyone. So you know, obviously as tough as this is to swallow, you know, there's always, the best part about hockey is there's another day to fight, and you know, obviously we got to look ahead.
Jordan, in a situation like this, who's the guy, or maybe it's multiple guys in your locker room, that stands up and kind of gets the guys back on track?
You know, it has a lot to do with leadership, I think. Yeah. I mean, obviously our older guys, you know, even guys like the younger guys like me and Halsey, you know, we kind of went through this a little bit before last year, and it's tough. I mean, it's never fun losing, and you know, as a competitor and a hockey player, you want to win hockey games, but you know, in the end, I think you gotta find good habits, and a lot of that has to go back to practicing and doing the right things there, and that leads into the game. And I think if you're doing the right things in practice, you're being a leader that way, and then it translates to the ice.
All right, let's talk about that gruesome injury suffered by your roommate Tuesday night in Columbus. You were on the trip but not playing. Did you see what happened?
I didn't. Obviously, I saw what happened after. I was injured and walking actually underneath the rink, and I saw him rush in to get stitches. So I really didn't know what happened until I saw it, and you know, as tough as it is to watch, it could have been a lot worse.
Well, there's nothing funny about a 30-stitch gash. That could have been career-ending, life-threatening, but such is the nature of this team sport that as soon as you know a player is going to be okay, the verbal shots, the chirping starts. What have you heard about what's being said about how Taylor Hall looks, or what have you said?
Yeah, I mean, first off, he's okay, and then that's a good thing. But you got to give it to him a little bit. He kind of looks like Harry Potter. It's a little bit of a lightning bolt, but I think he thinks the girls are going to like it, so we'll see.
All right. Here's a tweet from Livid Growth. The guy's name is Nick Donald. How is it living with the self-proclaimed Frankenstein's monster? Is that what he's called himself, Taylor?
I don't know. I mean, you know what? It's not as bad as it looks. I mean, right there you can see it. It's I think they did a very good job of stitching it up. I think with, you know, the stuff that they got now, it's probably going to heal pretty nice, and I'm sure there's something he can do, so there won't even be anything there.
Now, what were you guys talking about on the plane, and certainly in the bus, and when you got back home, about him wanting to play? What was he saying to you? What did he express?
I think it's just his character. Obviously, I think if he could have, he probably would have. I think he even tried to come back. I think he got on the bike after he got hurt in warm-up and you know, attempted to come back, but I think it started to swell up and he was getting headaches. So that's just the kind of guy he is. I mean, you watch him play so hard, and I mean, that's a guy you want on your team.
There's a team rule in effect now after Taylor Hall's gruesome injury that every player has to wear his helmet in the warm-up, so it's no longer an option, as apparently it was previously. If you played 100 games, you didn't have to wear the bucket in the warm-up after that. But this rule clearly, after what happened to your roommate's a no-brainer. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation. Obviously, I'm a young guy on the team, so I don't have much say in the locker room, but you know, I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, it could happen to anybody, and you know, as long as he's safe and it ain't good. I mean, obviously, it's nice to prevent injuries, but I mean, even some of the freak injuries that we've had this year, I mean, we want to try and keep them out of the warm-up. So if there's a way to do that and wear buckets, it's the best option. All
right, tweet from M.R. Pedersen, or Mr. Pedersen. His guy's full name is Andrew Pedersen. Are you jealous of Taylor Hall's badass scar?
No, I don't think so.
That's a good answer.
That's all I got.
Let him keep it. Yeah, let him keep
Yeah,
it.
he can have that one.
Yeah, it's all his. Okay, Jordan Eberle is our guest on After Hours on a tough night for the Edmonton Oilers, so we really appreciate you being here. And we'll talk some more with the young Oilers star when we come back to Rexall Place.